Hey there, everybody. It's Coach Joe here, Joe the Flamin'. I know it's still very ridiculous nickname. I know. I probably have to figure out something on what I'm going to do for the name. I mean, if anybody wants to make a good name suggestion, all for it. If you guys like the name, I mean, it's also good. As I said in the Team Builder episode last week, I had a bit of an announcement that I was going to make. And that announcement actually turned into 2 announcements, and then it turned into 3 announcements. And I decided, instead of just making 3 videos, I figured why not? Let's just bring them together into one video. So here's the announcement. The Talonflames we're expanded. That's the easiest way I can put it. The Talonflames are expanding, ladies and gentlemen. We have joined into 3 new leagues. We have joined into the Victory Draft League, a VGC league, and this is the Twitter account. We're slated actually to face the Atlanta Gliscors this week, and Coach Not Shady Kid. Should be a good matchup between the two of us. I'm looking forward to battling Shady for the first time, so it'll be interesting to do that. That's the Texas Rollerboom. That's a later opponent. But that's the first announcement that I have for you guys today. The second announcement that I have is we're also joining the Universal Gaming Association. This I found from Automathic's draft server. Now, spoiler, I found these from everybody in Automathic's server. But this server, I'll be honest, when I first heard about it, it sounded a little crazy, per se, with how the person in charge was, creating it. As you can see right here, his pinned tweet, the UGA, a Pokemon Draft League, hoping to launch its first season with a whopping 128 teams. Now, I'll be honest, when I saw that, it did not sound right. It sounded like it was going to be a little out there, a little crazy. But the more me and my bud Ace talked about it together, we thought, okay, it actually sounds interesting. So I joined that. Currently, I'm slated to be the moderator of the Kanto division. So what they're doing to get the 120 to actually a decent number is they're going to have 8 divisions of 16 teams based on time zone. Now, the divisions are not finalized yet as of the time of this recording. So I want you guys to know that first and foremost. It is not official yet. I mean, the deadline to sign up is 11 a.m. EST tomorrow. So if you watch it when I upload this video, there might be only a couple hours left, or there could be 12 hours left. All depends. But the third and final announcement that I have for you guys, which is actually going to be the bulk of this video, per se, is the third league I joined with the Talonflames, the International Battling League. This league, they're in Season 8. They upload on Sundays or Mondays. Darkest Devil, you can find him on YouTube. He is the head of it. You can see some of the other logos up here, such as the Charlotte Haunch Crows, the Iowa Hawluchas, Boston Cyndaquils. So what happened was one of the gentlemen there, his name is Eco, and he owned the Malala Morelos, and he went 3-1 with that team, but some personal things happened, of which perfectly understandable. Focus on personal life. Focus on that first and foremost. So, Darkest Devil actually contacted me through YouTube through my last battle against, I think he commented either it was against Baylor or it was against AJ. I forget which one off the top of my head, to be fully honest, because I honestly don't record with a script. I go live. I don't believe in the script per se. I believe in you guys getting me unfiltered. You guys will see who I am as a person. But he contacted me, asked me if I could fill in for the Malala Morelos. So what I figured I'd do is I pulled up Eco's draft video here, and I'm gonna react to his draft. I'm gonna explain what I think is gonna happen from his team, basically, and we're gonna go from there. To Eco, I'm honored that I'm gonna be helping you out, bud. So I hope that you are respectful of my opinions of your team because, again, you're the one who drafted it. I saw it on Auto's site after I got access to it. It looks really good, really strong. So let's get into the video, guys.
What's up, you guys? Eco the Living Planet here, bringing you my draft analysis for the International Battle League Season 8 drafts. IBL, this is my very first time in an upload-required draft league, hence why this YouTube channel is so young and starting out so fresh.
Now, I want to stop there because, like him, my channel is also, relatively new, but it's always nice to, have a decent amount of people join in the league. So I'm going to skip ahead real quick to where he gets his first pick.
Is a lot of fun. Intentionally maybe pick some stuff that will be a little bit challenging for myself to use because I want to grow it as a player. Very much outside of my typical wheelhouse, what we're going to be talking about here. So without further ado, let's talk a little bit about my draft, starting with the very first pick and the pinnacle Pokemon of it, Dracovish. aka Mr. Fish. Dracovish is admittedly probably the ugliest Pokemon I've ever seen. It just has a really terrible design on its face, although the mythology behind it, the fact that it's based on a real-life fossil that was sort of messed up by a wannabe paleontologist is kind of cool. So conceptually, it's got some interesting stuff behind it. Dracovish.
So, as you can see, his first Pokemon was Dracovish. Very strong Pokemon when it's, run properly. Normally, you'll see, like, Choice Band, you'll see Choice Scarf on it. Now, I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with Dracovish. I mean, will I probably use the standard Choice Scarf set? Most likely. I honestly have no idea what I'm going to be doing with Dracovish yet. But the Water Dragon type, very good. It learns Outrage, it learns Rock Slide, it learns Psychic Fangs, it gets Crunch, Strong Jaw, excuse me, and I forget what its other ability is, but I know its hidden ability is Sand Rush, which is unreleased yet, and once that comes, I think it'll be rare that you ever see a Choice Scarf with a Dracovish if you run a Sand team.
Fish does one thing, and it does that one thing really well. It clicks Vicious Rend, and stuff gets
That's
KO'd.
evidence right there, Vicious Rend.
Unless it has Water Absorb, pretty much. So Dracovish is just the absolute centerpiece of this team. Everything is built around making sure that Dracovish can fulfill its function, which is to click Vicious Rend and net KOs. And that's pretty much it. Dracovish has a really good offensive and defensive typing in Dragon and Water. Secondary Dragon typing gives it a strong secondary stab move in Outrage, which is nice because it only has base 90 attack, which really isn't that great.
I honestly
it really
relies on
on
just now.
The
Base 90
Vicious Rend
attack.
power and Strong Jaw to net those KOs. So again, everything around this team is built around supporting the Dracovish. So with that comes the second pick, which is also very important.
Now this,
and supports Dracovish.
If you guys have
very
watched
much,
my battles so far,
Venusaur.
you know that this one
So
has been
unfortunately,
arguably one of my two
Chlorophyll is
MVPs,
banned
along
in this
with
league.
Tai Chi, the Hitmontop, my Bloomin' Onion, Venusaur. It is just massively powerful. G-Max Vine Lash, Max Quake, Max Ooze, has a Sleep Powder. But now the thing is, in this league, Chlorophyll is banned on G-Max Venusaur. You can only use Overgrow on G-Max Venusaur. So, very interesting that, he's a man of, culture, getting the Venusaur to work out with his team.
Not something that I personally voted for. I voted to allow it even before I knew that I would be getting Venusaur. But regardless, it was deemed unhealthy for the metagame, so that is not permitted. So Gigantamax Venusaur's job when paired with Dracovish is fairly straightforward. Its job is to break down the bulky water absorbers that Dracovish cannot KO on its own. So things like Seismitoad, Gastrodon, Vaporeon, Mantine. Well, I guess not really so much Mantine. Mantine can probably take a few hits from Venusaur. But the rest
depends.
of those
Mantine
are
is,
going to be handled very well by Venusaur's powerful
defenses.
attacks. I mean, it has a great base 100 special attack, which is not nearly as great as Mega Venusaur last generation, but it has a pretty healthy HP stat to go along with that. Decent typing in grass and poison, and so I'm sure that this season the Venusaur is going to be able to get a lot of different KOs. Its signature move, forget what it's called honestly at this moment, don't shoot me, Brendan.
G-Max Mind Lash.
The signature move is really cool because it demands a grass type switch in, and so it'll take away 1/6 of the opponent's HP every turn for a little while.
Very powerful.
And obviously
those
grass types do not want to switch into
Wildfire,
a
Cannonade,
Vocalist, max ooze
those
on
are
them and boost special attack.
Massively powerful
And
moves.
this thing can grow out of control very quickly. Haha, grow. So my third pick in the draft was
Alakazam is his next Pokemon.
This thing
Interesting.
tier.
So Alakazam, Psychic type, fast, special attacker, good combo that I'm planning on thinking of using with it. Magic Guard plus Life Orb. Because Magic Guard plus Life Orb, I slap that on there, it gets a Life Orb boost, and I don't get any damage from the Life Orb because Alakazam can only be damaged by physical attacks and special attacks with Magic Guard. It can't be damaged by poison damage, burn damage, or any hazards per se. It can only be damaged by attacks. And if you want evidence of that, you can see my reaction to my battle against Jake and the Alakazams. I'll have a link to that in the description for that one.
2 is just insane in my view. I think that this generation Alakazam is absolutely worthy of being a tier 1 Pokemon, and I saw this.
I mean, Alakazam can be considered tier 1, if not borderline tier 1,
Alakazam
definitely tier 2.
Patches a few issues that Dracovish and Venusaur have, but not necessarily very many. So it sort of fits a little bit better with the team overall, and will probably make more sense as I go through my other
And it does get Energy Ball too.
Alakazam,
So if Venusaur goes down, it can help out for any
It's a very fast glass
damage.
cannon that hits hard, especially base 135 special attack, backed up by base 120 speed. And so this thing can come in, it can get revenge kills, it can clean up at the end of the game. Focus Sash plus Magic Guard means that it's going to be immune to hazards, and it can use that free turn to fire off a hit or to even set up with Nasty Plot. Alakazam, of course, has lots of useful utility as well, like Encore, Disable, Thunder Wave. You know, typically you run Alakazam obviously as an attacker, and so I doubt that I'm gonna make a ton of good use of that utility, but it's, you know, sort of nice to know that it's available to me.
It's definitely a good Pokemon for sure.
So the next Pokemon definitely makes some more sense and starts to put the team together a bit.
Now this one's an interesting pick. Polytoad is really, it's a good Pokemon. I mean, I'll be frankly honest, I don't think I've ever used a Polytoad. I think I've only just had it in my boxes just to, get the data entry per se. But from what I know about Polytoad, it's got decent defenses. It's okay at special attack, but its main thing is Drizzle. It can set up the Drizzle, and then, like Thunders will bypass accuracy checks. Hurricane will bypass accuracy checks. Water moves will get boosted. Fire type moves will get weakened. It's a good utility mod for sure, and then it also gets Scald too. So if I get that 30% roll, it'll help out against if my Alakazam is on the field and there's a physical attacker. So it'll be interesting for sure.
Polytoad provides the rain. Polytoad makes it rain. Polytoad is a fairly defensive Pokemon with decent special defense. Not completely crippling physical defense. It has good HP. So Polytoad predominantly here does a couple of things. First of all, it takes a water absorber off of the board and means that people cannot use it as a Dracovish check, which is nice. But the main thing that it does is it actually provides rain support for the Dracovish, and to a lesser extent for the Venusaur as well. So Venusaur being able to not take fire hits super effectively in the rain is definitely appreciated. Dracovish's ability to hit even harder with Fisher's Rend in the rain is just absolutely devastating. Polytoad has plenty of nice utility all around, from Toxic to Haze to Perish Song. Unfortunately, Polytoad did not get Flip Turn this generation, which is really sad. I was
interesting. It didn't get
hoping
Flip
that
Turn.
Game Freak would
I think a
do
lot
it
of
right
Pokemon didn't get Flip Turn
and
that
make Polytoad
most
finally
likely should have
somewhat
been
equal with
yeah.
Pelipper. Unfortunately, that is not the case. Polytoad did recently get access to Earth Power, though, which is a somewhat interesting coverage
Earth
move,
Power.
I guess.
That's good.
So Polytoad,
coverage for
just
electric
generally speaking, probably not going to come to a lot of matches, but when it does, it will provide a lot of great offensive support for the Dracovish. Sylvalai.
Oh, this is nice. This is going to be a good one right here. I can use Sylvalai on this team. I can literally use any one of Sylvalai's 18 forms on this. That is awesome. And if I wanted to, I could just throw a normal gem on it, use it as a utility mod. If I need something knocked out, I'm pretty sure max attack with normal gem. If it don't have protect, I can just sack it off and go boom. Use, I think it's explosion, either explosion or self-destruct, one of the two. But I mean, I'll sack it off and I'll get a chunk of damage on an opponent. So I think maybe even explosion with normal gem could, with a normal gem boost, it could potentially even one-hit KO a Dynamax Pokemon, depending on the Pokemon for sure, and if they have Dynamax candy. But let's see what else he says about Sylvalai.
Is an interesting B tier. So the purpose of Sylvalai is basically that it is a catch-all Pokemon. Sylvalai is very well-rounded with base 95 stats all around, which gives it a pretty useful speed tier, good bulk, and good offenses. It has a wide move pool, everything from Flamethrower to Thunderbolt to Explosion, utilities such as Defog and Parting Shot, and then of course multi-attack, which was buffed this generation to base 120 power. Sylvalai also has the ability to hold its special drives and change type. So that's very useful because, spoiler alert, as we go through this, I did not draft a fire type for the team, and so Sylvalai is sort of the de facto fire type. I also,
might have to change
at
that
the
in
end,
the
you'll
future.
see that I didn't get the best steel type, and so having all of those options
Be like
being able to be
Gladion,
covered
the
by
anime,
Sylvalai is really
Flip the
beneficial.
fire
for the
memory
team.
to absorb an Infernal Overdrive.
So another tier 3 Pokemon that I really wanted to
Okay.
use was Galvantula.
This-
Unfortunately, Howler took
Oh, he wanted
Galvantula from me
Galvantula,
during the
but
draft, and so I
just
had to
as
settle
good as a
for my
bug
second
electric
pick,
type.
which honestly, now that I'm kind of actually in the swing of things, might have been better. So we got Vikavolt, the Stag Beetle. Massive base 145 special attack stat.
Thing hits like
very
a
useful
truck
ability in
special
Levitate
attack.
because I do not have a whole lot of great ground resists or immunities on this team. It's obviously a fighting resist too with its bug typing. Vikavolt has great bulk. It's not particularly fast, and it did get access to Sticky Web this generation. So the fact that it has access to Sticky Web now is very helpful because overall my team is kind of slow, but the Sticky Web will help Dracovish net KOs and outspeed more Pokemon than it ordinarily would, which means that Vicious Rend will hit really freaking hard most of the time. Vikavolt is also obviously not an offensive slouch. It can pivot around with Volt Switch. Vikavolt is just an all-around great addition to the team that I'm excited to try out. For my other Tier 1 Pokemon as my free...
Oh, no way. Oh, this is awesome. Tyranitar is on this team. Oh, my God, that is good. Tyranitar with... I don't know if the rules are like, I can max anything on this team, but if I can max Tyranitar with a weakness policy, it's GG's, especially in the sand.
I decided to get Tyranitar. So a secondary weather center in addition to Polytoad, and maybe a little bit of an unconventional pick with Dracovish in Tier 1 simply because it makes the team kind of slow. I joked when I drafted this team that it's my dinosaur team because it has Venusaur, Tyranitar, and Dracovish all at the top.
Is Venusaur based off a dinosaur? I don't really know.
So Tyranitar's job here is to provide sand.
I really don't know that.
Dracovish does have access to Sandrush in this league. And
Wait, what was that? What did he just say?
I joked when I drafted this team that it's my dinosaur team because it has Venusaur, Tyranitar, and Dracovish all at the top. So Tyranitar's job here is to provide sand. Dracovish does have access to Sandrush in this league. And although Vicious...
The Dracovish has access to Sandrush in this league? No way. I mean, my first question is, how is that possible? But holy cow, guys. I wouldn't even have to use the scarf. I wouldn't have to scarf it. Wow, that is just insane if it's possible that I can even use that.
Rend is superior 95% of the time. I do love the option of being able to pick between rain and sand. I think that makes this team a lot more difficult to prep for and a lot more threatening on paper. Tyranitar is a very reliable stealth representative. It has a great wide...
Let's try and get a little quicker, guy. Okay, next is Wigglytuff.
That is kind of a tough team name to say. Malala Moralols. So Wigglytuff is a Pokemon that I've wanted to try for a long time. Admittedly, since I've seen Howler use it in this league and in one other. Wigglytuff has a massive base 140 HP stat, really poor like base 50 and below defenses, however. Its special attack stat is an okay base 85. It's not particularly fast, but it does have a really gigantic move pool. Wigglytuff has just about every coverage move under the sun that you can imagine on the special side. It has good utility moves like Knock Off and Wish and Teleport and Stealth Rock. This thing can just do just about everything. It doesn't do it particularly well, but it can do just about everything. And so I think that Wigglytuff will make a really fun addition to the team because it can fill a lot of niches. I feel like Wigglytuff will be sort of a good go-to Pokemon for, hey, I'm missing that this week, well, I'll just run it on Wigglytuff.
Driftblim, okay. Driftblim is an interesting Pokemon on this team. I mean, goes flying, Aftermath, the Unburden ability, so don't see any... Well, I mean, Venus or G-Max, but, you know, it's G-Max. So I don't see any off the top of my head that, you know, could set up terrain or something like that. But its hidden ability, Flare Boost, I mean, granted, it puts it on a timer, but for double speed, it works.
For the Tier 4 Pokemon, the first one that I picked, we have Driftblim. This one was sort of a deliberate counter pick to a lot of the drafts. We see that a lot of the different drafts picked some variation of terrain. With Rillaboom's grassy terrain being one of the first things picked. We have a Gigantamax version of that as well as a non-Gigantamax version.
The only reason that it got
Galarian Stunfisk, which I think did just get dropped. You know, lots of different terrain options running around out there, and Driftblim makes a good sort of counter pick to all of those. Driftblim, sort of similar to Wigglytuff, outstandingly massive HP stat, very frail defenses, okay offenses, so you can make use of it. It has a really bad offensive move pool, frankly. It was really sad that they didn't finally give it Hurricane this generation. Just Game Freak absolutely robbed it by keeping Air Cutter its best.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Freaking special flying move. Sorry, that's my Driftblim rant. So anyway, I guess Driftblim will be fun. I did have it once in the league before, and I didn't get to use it much. Oh, and it does provide another hazard removal option, I guess, but I can't imagine I'm going to run a lot of Defog Driftblim. Hitmontop, on the other hand, is probably a bit more reliable.
This guy knows what he's talking about.
So Hitmontop is a very fun.
He must have been watching me. Well, actually, no, that's a lie. I must have been, you know. But we have two of the same. You guys have seen it. The Hitmontop, I've run it, you know, mostly priority, and I threw a rapid spin on it, you know, in case of sticky webs on a different set. And then Venusaur G-Max. I mean, they are both really good. They're in contention for MVP of the team. So it'll be interesting to see what happens down the road. But let's hear what he has to say about our spinning friend.
Type. I always enjoy when I get a chance to draft any of the Hitmon Pokemon. Hitmontop is very well balanced, not particularly fast, but it can patch that up with Rapid Spin. It has access to close combat, Mach Punch, Fake Out, Bullet Punch, basically every type of priority under the sun. It has 2 very good abilities in Technician and Intimidate. It also got access to Triple Axle with the Isle of Armor DLC, which is a really fun Ice-type coverage move, very similar to Triple Kick, but obviously, Ice-type. So I think that Hitmontop fills a lot of holes in this team nicely, being able to rapid spin away hazards, being a fighting type that's very strong and well balanced. Whereas a lot of the other Pokemon in this team sort of have, maybe one thing that they're very strong at, but then a couple of other large weaknesses. So I think that Hitmontop will patch things really nicely, as the Hitmon family tends to do. And then finally, the most exciting pick of the draft, in my opinion.
Most exciting pick of the draft is Galarian Stunfisk. I wonder why that is. Spoiler alert, I dropped this for Butterfree because they're both in tier 5, but I'm interested to see what he says about Galarian Stunfisk, because its ability only works if a terrain is on the field, because it turns it from a ground steel into Psychic, Fairy, Electric, or Grass. So let's see what he says.
In Galarian Stunfisk, just an all-around, very not good Pokemon, I'm gonna admit. But it has ground typing, it has steel typing, it has a cool ability in Mimicry, it has a large HP stat, good defense, not absolutely terrible offenses, although it is pretty slow. It can set Stealth Rock, and I feel like that's about it. Galarian Stunfisk, as I said, is not a particularly good Pokemon, but it has a few memey little niches that are going to be kind of fun to use in this league.
Okay, interesting. I mean, I dropped it. So.
That is the...
All right, so, ladies and gentlemen, that was the Malala Morlos and Coach Eco's team. That is what the Atlanta Talonflames will now be running with. Again, like I said, I dropped Galarian Stunfisk for Butterfree, so I'll be using that. And my first match in the IBL will be against Shea Queza is his name, and the Dallas Starmies. So it'll be interesting to see what we do with that. I'll probably have a team builder episode for that. If you want, guys, give Eco a follow, give Dark Devil a follow, give Shea a follow. As you guys also saw, the Victory Draft League, give them a follow at Pokemon VDL. Universal Gaming Association, UGA Draft League, and International Battling League at IBL_league. And then, like I've said before with me, if you guys like the video, that's fine. If you guys want to leave a comment, wish the Talonflames luck as we embark on a new journey, 3 new journeys for that matter, all for that. And then, I know I've said the thing with the, if you want, I'm not going to force you guys to subscribe or anything, and I still stand by that. If you want to subscribe, that's more than fine. I'm not going to say no. I'm going to be grateful for it, but I'm not going to be like the video, share the video, subscribe the video, all that stuff. I believe that if you want to subscribe, that is strictly your prerogative. I just want to make content that's good enough for you guys. So with that in mind, this has been Joe signing off. I'll be sure to get you guys a couple of team builder episodes out there, and I hope you guys enjoy our new embarkments, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out.